I've always had a passion for being around and learning about animals. When I was younger, going to zoos and animal parks was always a part of my life. I wanted to share my passion with family and friends, so I started working with people that loved animals as much as I did, and my YouTube channel was born.
Welcome back to my animal education series. Today I'm here with Robin at the Powder Valley Nature Center. Hello.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
I'm good. So, what animal do we have here?
Well, today we have the common snapping turtle.
And he's a cool little guy. Like, obviously then, before we started filming, he was walking around a little bit, which is not common for them. So where would you usually find these turtles at?
Well, they're usually found in ponds or lakes and rivers. They get their food from the water, so they stay in the water most of the time. Usually the only time you would see one on land is if it's, a lot of times people see them crossing the road, unfortunately, to go to their nest egg site to lay their eggs. So.
And that's for a lot of people, like hit them with their cars, and that's unfortunate.
They do, yeah, that's sad. But they're the most numerous turtle in the eastern coast of America, and so numerous that in Missouri we have a hunting season on them.
Really?
Yeah, they're considered a game animal.
I didn't know that, so that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
How big do these turtles usually get?
They can weigh up to about 35 pounds, and there are more that are bigger, but that's just the average, 35 pounds.
And how big is this one?
This one here weighs 10 pounds, so she's not near as big as she could be.
Not really, no.
No.
And this is still a considerable size too. It's like about the size of Peanut back here from a previous episode.
Right. She's a real healthy animal, and I think captive animals aren't a good example of health and weight and size because they're fed more regularly than a wild animal would.
I mean, like these animals would hibernate, and obviously they're out here and they're not sleeping, so they're not hibernating currently.
Right.
So it's very different than the wild. It's kind of hard to judge it that way.
It is, you're right. Yeah, they don't have a normal life here. And they're going to, in the wild, I guess they would have to chase their food down sometimes. And actually, people think of them more as a predator, but they're really more of a scavenger. So they kind of, an opportunistic feeder. They'll just kind of grab whatever is around. And it could be aquatic plants. About 30% of their diet actually is aquatic plants. But they also eat dead animals in the water, dead fish. They might eat maybe a bird's fallen in the water or something like that.
And what do you guys feed this? What do you guys feed this turtle?
We actually leave live fish in the aquarium, which she doesn't eat much, but it's kind of an exercise for her. She chases the fish, and she also gets live crayfish. And she really likes them, so she'll chase after them. So that's kind of interesting to watch. She gets some special turtle pellets that have vitamins and minerals to make sure her diet is balanced too.
And you were explaining that before we started filming, these tanks are only kind of temporary for the winter. So what do you do during the summer with these turtles?
Well, really our enclosures aren't a good size for a turtle, a common snapping turtle, to get some exercise. So we have a big tub outside, and in the warm weather, we put her out there once a week. She gets to be out there all day and swim around. And in the colder months, we actually put her in one of our classrooms, and she'll walk around all day and hopefully burn off a few calories.
And you were explaining that they're kind of bloated here a little bit.
Yeah, and we're not really sure what this is from. This turtle's been to the vet, and they've said there's nothing wrong with her, so it's just maybe the diet she has here. Maybe we don't have the diet exactly like it should be naturally.
Because you're not going to go out to the wild and see an animal of like this much, like, I wouldn't say fat, but I would say all fat. Probably some muscle with the turtle as well for swimming.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Out there, you're not going to see like animals like big, let's say, as this one, because they're not going to have a steady diet like they do here. So again, it's kind of hard to judge that.
Right, and then once again, they're chasing after their food more, or swimming after their food, even if it is dead. They still have to swim after it, and they just, like you said, in the winter they have the hibernation time. So then they're really burning off their calories because they're not eating much during the winter.
And here, you said that you put like the live fish in there. They don't have to go super far for that. But in the wild, they might have to go like, across a lake or a pond or like, even like, up a river or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's very different. And it's like stationary water, obviously. Like rivers and lakes, it's constantly moving with the flows and everything.
Right.
So it's very different.
That's true. And just fighting, yeah, that's a good point. Just fighting against the river current is, just think of swimming ourselves. That's exercise.
Yes, and like more muscle mass as well might be from the wild as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All the extra swimming.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So behind us, we also have an alligator snapping turtle. So you want to get him out for us?
Yeah.
So what are some of the major differences between this alligator snapper and the common snapper?
Well, obviously you can see the size is a difference already. This alligator snapping turtle is actually younger than the common snapping turtle that we had out. but she's, this common snapping turtle weighs 10 pounds and this one weighs 22 pounds.
Wow.
So big difference. And the way they eat is different too. The alligator snapper likes live fish, so she's actually more of a predator or a hunter. And she's, I guess you'd call her an ambush hunter. She'll just lay in the bottom of a body of water, and it's kind of interesting. She'll open her mouth, and she's got a tongue. If she happens to open her mouth, you'll see that in there. It kind of wiggles. Looks like
but
a little
when she's this close, we kind of don't want her to do that.
Maybe not. Yeah, her tongue kind of wiggles in the water, and the fish think that's a worm, so they just swim by, and she can grab them.
Because we had to redo this stuff, and she's kind of lunging out a little bit when you're moving her.
Yeah,
so probably do that underwater.
Right. They could. You're right. They could lunge at the fish. Here we feed them live fish. We keep live fish in the tank, and then we also feed live crayfish, like the common snapper, and she'll go after them the same way.
Will that be exercise? Because along with the common snapper, this isn't a permanent tank for them.
Right, and she's even bigger than the other one, so she needs more room. But this turtle doesn't actually move around as much. They would more just lay in the bottom of a body of water. They might be found in a deep lake or river. They like a nice quiet place with a lot of tree roots that they can kind of hide in. And one thing is their camouflage. They're usually covered with algae and mud, and so that kind of camouflages them, for one thing. But they'll lay still, and they lay in ambush, like you mentioned a lot of snakes do, and wait for the food to come to them.
And I guess like you don't need as much exercise because this one doesn't look nearly as like big around in the legs and the neck as the common snapper does.
Right.
Because if you're an ambush predator, you're kind of made for sitting still, and like unlike the common snapper, who has to like kind of look for their food.
Right. Yeah, but we do take her out sometimes and let her get some exercise too, but not as much as the common snapper. It's not as important.
And another kind of obvious difference between the common snapper and the alligator snapper, this one looks a lot more aggressive. Like these little ridges here, like on the edge, obviously a lot bigger head and a sharper beak.
Right. It could do a lot more damage, couldn't it?
I don't think they could see this from this angle, but the tail is a lot longer as well.
Yeah. Should I pull the tail around and see? She'll let me. She's holding on for dear life there. Here, girl. Okay, you could. If she'd relax her tail, you could see it's a lot longer. Yeah.
And the nails appear to be quite a bit sharper as well.
Right. Yeah.
What would that be used for necessarily?
Well, I'm not sure. I know that the turtles use them to dig when they're going to bury their eggs. They have to dig in the dirt, and so I'm not sure. Besides that, what the point would be of having the common snapper. If you noticed on the back legs, it has more webbed feet, and they do swim more. So I don't think she has so much of a webbing on her. There's
a little lunge there.
Yeah, I don't think she has so much of a webbing on her feet. So, whoops.
Yeah, you
Easy,
can
girl.
stand back there.
What? Come here. She's so squishy. Grab her. And this turtle is a species of conservation concern in Missouri, so they're not to be hunted at all. But in a lot of states, they're very common, so it's just state by state. But this is not a.
She is not a fan, and you're
Oh,
wondering
she's
with
coming
these
towards
lunges,
you.
so I don't know how far she lunges.
No. We never know, do we? Yeah.
And I don't want to find out either.
She's very interested in you.
I think this is probably one of the closest times I've ever been to an alligator snapping turtle. And I probably don't want to be any
Probably
closer.
the closest you want to be, right?
Yes.
Here, girl.
Hey, you're not liking me very much, are you?
She's after you. There, turn that way. Smile for the camera.
Definitely a lot more aggressive than the common snapping turtle.
Right.
That's a good difference as well.
Right, and I think a lot of it is really based on fear. She's afraid because she actually gets stressed and then she won't eat. So I think it's a fear tactic that she's hoping that you think she's aggressive. So you leave her alone.
And what we know about alligator snapping turtles is that they definitely can be.
Yes, they can. It's right.
And I did not come here to lose a finger. I came here for a video. So
Right.
that's not one of the goals I have.
You need your fingers, don't you?
Yes. So what are one of your favorite things about the alligator or the common snapping turtle?
I guess it's just a really interesting animal here at Powder Valley. People come and they kind of migrate right to the tanks. And I don't know how many times people have come to tell us that this animal, you have a dead turtle in your tank. They tell us that over and over because the common snapper will just swim and swim. But this one just sits on the bottom real still and her head kind of tilts off to the side. And
Just
so,
kind of doing the ambushing type.
I guess you're right.
Adapted to do.
Yeah, she's just adapted to lay still and wait. So yeah.
Because if fish see them moving or anything, then they're not going to go towards it.
That's right.
So they've adapted to sit perfectly still.
Right.
And if they're moving, obviously they're going to starve.
Right. But that's an adaptation to keep them alive.
And you're saying that
right?
they see the common snapper turtle moving along. And then you have Peanut right here. just kind of swimming around all the time.
Yeah, he
And
never
then
really stops.
Sitting down and doing nothing. It's a very big difference between these two turtles.
Right,
But obviously, their diet's a lot different, and they look very different.
right.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about these snapping turtles.
You're welcome.
And the little experience that we just had with the alligator snapper.
She's looking at you again, isn't she?
You can stay right over there. I'm happy with you right there. And if you guys enjoyed this week's episode, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and also check out my Instagram @ColeShirk. As always, see you next week.